Hello, in my last video I talked about relative potential energy, but today I will discuss with you absolute gravitational potential energy. But before explaining it, I will first explain you some concepts of the physics which will be necessary in explaining the absolute gravitational potential energy. First, I will define what is a gravitational potential energy. The gravitational potential energy at a point is the work done in bringing the mass m from infinity to that point. Now, what's the positive work? Positive work increases the energy of the system. Now, in this case, our energy is our system is composed of two things. One is the mass of the body of small m, and other is the earth. Okay. Now we consider first the body is lying on the surface of the earth, which is being represented by the O. The body is lifted up by applying the force F, and the displacement which is covered by the body is H. Both are in the same direction and in the vertical upward direction. When the force and displacement are in the same direction, the positive work is said to be done. The positive work always increases the energy of the system. Therefore, we say that the potential energy of the body has increased. First, when it was lying at O, it was 0. Now it has increased to some value which is will be equal to the mgh in this case. Second is the negative work. Negative work is which is it decreases the energy of the system. Now the body which was first lying here, now it is brought down. In bringing down, the it covers the displacement h, but again our force is in the upward direction, and the displacement which is being covered by the body will be in the downward direction. As the in this case the angle between the two vectors 180, we must know that when the angle between the two vectors are 180, cos 180 is equal to -1, and the negative work is said to be done. Is decreases the energy of the system. It is clear that when the body was lying of mass m, at this point its energy was higher, which in this case is the mgh, and when it is brought to this point, its energy with relative to the ground becomes 0 because its height becomes 0. Okay. Next is the bound state. Electron, body on the earth, etc., are all in the bound state. What does it mean by the bound state? For example, electron is revolving around the earth. There is a force of attraction between the electron and proton. There is a force of attraction between the body and any between the earth and the body, and all the things which are lying on the surface of earth, there's always a force of attraction between them. When there are two bodies and there is a force of attraction between them, the one body is said to be in the bound state, or the bodies are said to be in the bound states. So when the electron comes out or out of the atom, it becomes free. Its potential energy also becomes 0. And if the body is moved so away from the center of the earth, where the earth gravitational field becomes 0, or the value of small g becomes 0, at this point the force of gravity becomes 0. Therefore the potential energy also becomes 0. So, the electron, which is in the influence of a nucleus, and all the bodies which are lying on the surface of the earth are in the influence of the earth. Therefore, they are all possessing negative potential energy. Saying of positive potential energy is actually meaningless. It is the change in potential energy, it will be the positive. Now, I will show how. Consider a body, it is the earth, and consider a body which is at a point A which is very far away from the center of the earth. At this point, the value of G is 0. Therefore, the potential energy of the body at point A will also be equal to 0. Now, there is another point which is C. At this point, the potential energy is minus 30 joules. Another point in the earth gravitational B, where the potential energy is minus 50 joules. We know that the formula of change is higher value minus lower value. It is a general formula of the change in any thing. Therefore, in this case, we apply minus 30 is higher than the minus 50. Therefore, minus 30 joule minus 50 joule. And our answer comes out 20 joules. And it is clear that it is positive. Therefore, actually, all the bodies which are in the influence of the earth or on which the force of gravity are acting, having the negative potential energy. Only the change in negative potential energies at different points will be the positive, and we roughly say that the potential energy of the body is positive. Further explanation, I give you another example. Consider a point D which is on the surface of the earth. Any body which is lying on this point will have potential energy will be equal to 0 because this point is on the surface of the earth. Now we again applying the change in potential energy formula. Potential energy at point D uh, minus potential energy at point B. At point D is 0 minus, and at point B is negative. Again our potential energy with respect to the earth comes out positive. But we will say that it is the potential energy of the body at point B which is actually negative, but with respect to the surface of the earth is will be positive. Now we come to our actual topic. In this case, m is the mass of the earth with radius re, and o is the origin of the earth. Now we consider a body of mass small m as a distance h from the center of the earth. This body is very far away from the center of the earth. The distance is so high that the value of g at this point becomes 0. So mgh, in the formula mgh, g becomes 0, then potential energy also becomes 0. Now this body which is at point A is brought to from A to B. In bringing this body from A to B, we apply the force F. This force, our force will be definitely in the upward direction, and the displacement covered by the body in moving from A to B in the downward direction. So the negative work is being done on the body. This negative work will actually decrease the energy of the body, but the body potential energy of the body was already 0. So it means when we say that this negative work is decreasing the energy of the body, it means the potential energy of the body becoming less than the 0. When we know that the value, any value becomes less than the 0, it will be the negative. So when the body is brought from A to B, negative work will be done on the body. This negative work will be done on the body will be stored in the body as a negative potential energy of the body. So in the A level, there is no proof of it in your syllabus, but in FSC course actually there is a proof of this from where this formula comes out. Therefore, we directly you will remember this formula of the potential energy. So our potential energy is equal to will be this, and this potential energy will be negative because we have to do the negative work in bringing the body from A to B, and this negative work has appeared as the negative potential energy. Now the gravitational potential energy is the potential energy per unit mass. Therefore, we divide it mass small mass m, and so therefore the gravitational potential energy in the last becomes this value. Okay, thanks.